Hi everybody, this is Rebecca Keppel. I am here to show you a Queen & Co kit. It's called All Bundled Up. It's so cute. Such great colors. So let me show you what comes in the kit. You get this 6x6 pattern paper pad. They call it a mat stack. These are double-sided sheets and you get several sheets of each pattern. Then you get a whole set of dies. So each shaker shape comes with its own die. You can see it has that fun stitching detail around the outside. And then you get 3 foam shapes for each die, and you can buy refills. There's a 4x6 stamp set. This is completely sentiments, so you get all kinds of different sentiments for all types of different cards. You get die cut acetate pieces for those shakers, and you get an assortment of toppings. And the toppings this month are so pretty. They have all these pearls and gems and in these really fun frosty colors. I love those diamonds that I just showed you because they're not completely clear. And then I love all the metallic and pretty pearls. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through each of the shapes. The first shape that we're going to use is the snowflake. I grabbed some of the pattern paper from the mat stack and I am inking the edge with some Distress Oxide ink and an ink blending tool, and then I'm going to use that same ink just to create a kind of a little halo effect in the center of the card, just to draw attention to that shaker. I'm going to pop out the center of the shaker and peel off the protective backing and lay it down on my pattern paper. This is a double-sided adhesive foam, so there's adhesive on both sides. I have a little strip of pattern paper that I thought would look nice on that left-hand edge there, so I did ink the left-hand side of that as well. I'm going to ink up the sentiment with the same Distress Oxide ink. If you haven't stamped with your Distress Oxides yet for sentiments, please give it a try. They stamp beautifully. Okay, so I'm going to just finish up with a little bit of blending on the outside again just to darken that up. I'm going to grab the toppings that I want to use inside my snowflake. I love those pearls with multicolors on them. And for this one, I'm going to make sure that I get some of those toppings in the center, but I want to make sure that I get into the kind of the stems of the snowflake as well, just to make sure there's some pearl colors in all parts of this snowflake and that it's really filled with shakers. Sometimes I just put a few in and let them move around a lot, and other times I really want the look of the toppings inside the shakers. So this is one of those times. I really just want pearls in all the little areas there to make sure that you're seeing all those pretty colors. Okay, so I'm going to grab the die cut acetate that goes with the snowflake and make sure I have it in the right direction, peel off that top protective layer, and then lay down that acetate right on top of that. I also die cut some glitter cardstock, white glitter cardstock, and I'm going to put some dot roller adhesive on the back of that and lay it on top of that acetate. And that kind of completes the shaker there. Super easy to do, and it comes out so pretty, especially with that glitter cardstock. The next shape that I'm going to use today are the mittens, and I am going to adhere some dark cardstock on top of a piece of pattern paper. It's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 is the pattern paper, so the cardstock's a little bit smaller, and I wanted to heat emboss the sentiment this time. So I am going to treat my cardstock with anti-static powder tool and then stamp with Versamark ink. And then I'm going to pour some white embossing powder on top, shake off the excess, and then I'm going to heat set this sentiment. I like to just kind of dust away any of the powder that was left behind. And now I'm going to cut out some mittens. So you can see that you have to cut one of the mittens upside down on pattern paper. Otherwise, you're going to end up with 2 left mittens rather than a left and a right. Same goes for the foam shapes. You're going to have to flip one upside down. So pop out the middles and then figure out which one you're going to flip upside down. That one is the one for me. So I'm going to peel off what is technically the top protective layer, but in this case is going to be the back protective layer. I'm going to use that piece of pattern paper that I cut from the reverse side and glue that on the inside of the mittens. Then I'm going to pour my toppings inside, and I'm going to peel off the top protective layer of those foam shapes and grab my die cut pieces of acetate and just lay them right on top, because the top of that foam, once you take off the top protective layer, is adhesive. Now for the little frames, I die cut the mitten out of the plaid and then kind of the cuffs out of a darker blue pattern paper from the mat stack. And now I'm just adhering some bows onto those mittens using some sparkle string from Tsukineko as well. That did not come in the kit, that's just in my stash. Okay, the next shape that we're going to use is the pom-pom hat. It's so adorable. I thought this would look really cute on a square card. So my card base is actually 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. I cut down some pattern paper to a little bit smaller than that, about 4 by 4. And then I have a strip of pattern paper that is just kind of an accent strip about 2/3 down, or maybe a little bit less than that. I stamped my sentiment on that strip, and now I laid down my foam shape and of course poked out the center, peeled off the top protective layer after putting the toppings in, and now I'm adhering everything on top of that. I did cut the little pom-pom dot out of felt, so I'm using some liquid glue to adhere that to the acetate. The next shape that we're going to go through is the snowman. So many cute little details that come with this, but they are tiny. So I like to use Thermoweb's Easy Cut adhesive. It's a thin double-sided adhesive. I'm laying my cardstock on top of the adhesive and then trimming around the outside. And so these dies, once I cut them out of this cardstock, it will turn them into tiny little stickers, which makes it a lot easier to have to worry about adhesive. I am layering some pattern paper on top of each other here for my card background, and I'm using my Mini Misty to stamp my sentiment. I really loved using the chipped Sapphire Distress Oxide ink with this kit. It goes wonderfully with it. I'm going to pop out the center of the snowman foam shape, peel off the back protective layer, and lay it down on my card panel. I had some glitter cardstock and I adhered that in the center and then poured my toppings right on top of that. Peel off the top protective layer, lay down my acetate, adhere my top layer of glitter cardstock that I cut out with the coordinating die. Now I have the little hat that I cut out with the die as well. I adhered that on top of his head. And now I have these 3 little dots that I am going to use just 2 of them as eyes. You could use them as eyes, cut them out again, and then use them as buttons. I am going to use something larger as buttons. I grabbed some rubber dots from Tsukineko, again, just from my stash. I thought those looked really cute on the little snowman's belly. Okay, next shape is a penguin. Super, super easy, and I thought he would look really cute on a circle-shaped card. So I cut out a circle-shaped card out of a circle die, layered a smaller die on top with some pattern paper. I am stamping There is No Better Friend Than You with some VersaFine black onyx ink. And then I cut this little penguin out twice. I cut him out of black cardstock and white cardstock so that the inside belly could be white, and then I'm going to have some white shakers, and then the outside frame could be black, and that gives you that black and white penguin look. He comes with a little nose die, and I grabbed some googly eyes from my stash just to add some cuteness and playfulness to him as well. Totally unnecessary. You can just use the dies. The next shape is the polar bear, and I love this little face. He is so cute. I layered some pattern paper on top of some dark cardstock. I am again using my Mini Misty and the Distress Oxide ink chipped Sapphire to stamp this. You can see for each of these cards I used a different sentiment, so there's tons of choices. Stay nice and snug with a polar bear hug. I thought that was really cute for this one. Okay, for this guy, the inside I cut out of felt. You can see the die to the left there. It cuts the frame and then the inside. I cut them both out of white felt. You can absolutely use these thin dies to cut out felt, and I thought that gave him a nice little fuzzy look. So I'm going to put that felt right on top, and then I have a couple of other pieces. He has a die that is a scarf, so I adhered that. And then he has some feet. I cut those out of a cream colored cardstock. I'm just going to hold those down with my acrylic block while I adhere the face. I used the Thermoweb Easy Cut adhesive for the nose and the eyes. And I'm just using a craft knife to peel off the backing of those little eyes because they're so tiny, and then lay them down on the card. and that's it. Isn't he adorable? I think he's one of my favorites. He's just so, 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 so cute. We created 6 cards in this video, super, super quick and easy. 6 different shaker shapes that were created in as easy as 1, 2, 3. Of course, you could put these shape shakers on layouts as well, or even home decor. I think they would look adorable. I love the colors in this kit and all the little critters and shapes. So if you're interested in this kit, the products will be linked down below for you to go and check them out over at Queen & Co. If you would like to subscribe to my YouTube channel, I'll have a link to that here. You can also check out my blog for more information, and I'll have a couple of other shaker videos that you might be interested in. I wanted to thank you so much for stopping by today. Have a wonderful day.